Woo! We are so back on X. The streams are working again. That's what I'm talking about. It only took like 2 weeks, but we are so back on the X stream. Let's go. Love to see that. Love to see that. We are so back. All right. That's some good work right there. I'd like to see it. Love to see it. Let's see. Yes. Awesome. Stream is working on X. We are so back. Awesome. Shout out to you guys showing up already. Lotto Friday banger. We're charting for a banger. I'm going to go over today. I'm going to go over, today's kind of price action, what I was looking for, the trade I took. And then, of course, we're going to chart for a banger for tomorrow as well. I'm going to give y'all my Lotto Friday watch list as well. So we will see what we can do there. Awesome stuff. We are so back on the stream here. We are so back. Let's go. Let's go. Awesome stuff. Cool. Anyways, all right, let's get it going here. So turn down the music a little bit. All right. And before I kick it off, guys, this is the last day, one of the last days right here to use code FEB. When you sign up, wap.com/RioCapital, or you can go to RioCap.com. Either one of those, become a member. Any of the services, use code FEB. Save you half off on whatever. This is one of the last days you can use this. February is about to end, so I would utilize that for real. And because I don't know when I'm going to be dropping another promo code. It's going to be at random throughout the year, so don't wait on it. When the opportunity's there, go for it. So, I've been on fire this whole week, which is absolutely awesome. It's been a kind of a tougher week with only the real news of just NVIDIA earnings, unemployment data didn't really do too much for us, but just kind of a slower week, but some pretty decent action if I really had to say so for myself. I mean, wasn't the craziest so far, but it definitely you can make some money off it. So, that's pretty cool. And so let's get into kind of what I was, getting into today as far as my trades. The only real trade I took was Microsoft. Microsoft was just one of those where it was flagging at open. We played the hourly here, and this was just one of those where it almost hit our target up here at 409, 411 supply zone, hit 407, almost came close. You know what? Close enough for us to make money, and that's all right. Especially if you entered after me. So if any of the members, of course, entered after me, they would have got a better fill, which is awesome. So this is kind of what I saw. We were flagging on Microsoft. We opened up above the 400 level, and I knew we'd at least get a move off that 400 level, right? So nice open, right? We opened and we started to dip a little bit. And as we started dipping into this candle started opening right here, right? And it started dipping down. Once it started dipping down, that's where I entered. Now I entered there, and I want to see them kind of just dry up this candle a little bit on the hourly and just kind of push this up like we saw it go like that. But I wanted to see a little bit more aggression out of it. Now, Microsoft had all the signs to be there. The volume was good. Everything was good. The setup was good. The reason why it wasn't a continuation or a complete banger was because SPY and QQ sold off. So we'll get into that in a minute. Anyways, I entered calls on this pull down here. I got filled at like 403, 402-ish. Right here, and then it came down just a little bit more, and you can see that I think it ended up hitting that low right there, about 400. Retested that 400 level, which I knew it would. Retested the top of the flag. Anytime it does that, usually it ends up just bouncing and pushing right back out, and ended up kind of drying up there. And we get on the 15 just to look at it a little bit cleaner here. And you can see that 15-minute did dry up on that first 15. And then that next 15 opened up and ended up pushing out and got the move we wanted. So our calls went over 100% if you got the better entry than me. For me, on my position, I really got like 30, 40%, which is all right for me. They moved pretty nicely anyways. and that's good enough. I like that. And then from there, we turned around and saw that, SPY and QQ were definitely dumping out here. Huge hourly move down. And so I was like, yeah, puts working, jump in some puts, let it go. And we just went zone to zone on the move down. Banger puts on SPY and QQ as well. And then midday, I didn't call this out, and I came very close to calling it out, but I took it myself. I took some cheap IWM puts inside this zone right here, exactly at this green candle. We pushed up aggressively out of this demand after we sold off in that morning. It aggressively pushed up, and I knew likely this was just going to reverse. So I slammed some cheap puts right here for like $50. I think they're the 264s right at the money. And of course, this next 15-minute opened up exactly the move I was looking for. Got the rejection out. My puts went from $50 to like $80. I was like, I'll take that. That's a good win. Of course, if I just continue to hold it with conviction there, you can see that, this went zone to zone, and this went, pretty nice in the money there, and got the move right back down. Now, it took like an hour to do, but you still would have got the move. Those puts end up running to like 200. So from 50 to 200, not too bad at all. And then from there, you'd have to have like sold, turn around, maybe some calls, right back up. Beautiful. IWM was on one today. Pretty interesting stuff. But other than that, it wasn't really much going on in the market other than, NVIDIA selling off, right? I just knew it. Like this quarter has been just disappointing. Just any type of dip or any type of rip is just getting met with a dip afterwards. Just kind of sell off. It's been very disappointing. And for some weird reason, I had just a little bit of hope. I had a little bit of hope going into NVIDIA's earnings that they could save us, that NVIDIA could, push up, hit over 200, and move SPY and QQ back to all-time highs, where SPY was just lingering under all-time highs. And then we sold off. So, we came very close right there at 695 after hours. We were just close. That 696 would have been, that all-time high supply, and we would have been on our way to 700 finally. No go. Sold off. Makes sense. Our upside game plans did not trigger. Where we came down nicely. So this is what we're looking at going into tomorrow, right? Pretty good flag pattern here. I like this. This is super easy, to be honest. Super, super easy. I would say under tomorrow, below 685.24 right here. You can see that outside the flag. It would be outside the flag, and it'll break this demand. It's going to retest today's lows and then easily run to our target, which is right down here at the 682. These are the same levels we've been playing over and over and over again, so we know these work. And this will just be the same move from, what is that, Tuesday? So again, we see this same move happen. So it's nothing crazy. It's nothing crazy. We know the levels are there. So definitely, right? Keep an eye on that. That's an easy move. Now, I like SPY for the upside too. Say we break the flag upward. I would love to see a break above 688 or open above 688.90, and then just kind of get that push to 690, maybe higher, kind of retrace how we sold off today. And that's really about it as far as the upside. Nothing too crazy there. I would be a little bit more cautious on the upside. That's all I would say, because we are flagging here now. I don't know. It's give or take. Either way, if it goes up or down, it's going to bank. So I would say trust it for sure. And same thing for Q. Same pretty much setup here. Now, I like Q as well. Q looks pretty good to me. I like how it's also still flagging. I would say under this 606.49 here. I know it looks a little crazy. I have multiple trend lines going through, but I would say under that 606.49, we'll end up losing demand. We'll end up losing this yellow trend line, and we'll see that bigger move straight down to 602, 601. And then possibly back down to 600. The 600 level is a big level. As long as we're above it, bulls are still in control. We start losing that 600 level. That's where I start getting a little bearish. Now, I like this. Again, we will see kind of what happens here. But for the upside here, it would have to break above 609.36 right here for this move right back up, into 611, 610. So this territory right here. Now, this sell-off is just one of those where, we knew we were going to come down into this move. mainly because yesterday when I was trading live, we banked off Q calls as our second play, right? Did that live, banked off Q calls on the move up yesterday. I kept telling the team, right? When we opened up, if we get a rocket up, they need to aggressively step into this, which they did. We banked. I also said be very careful. They created a daily gap in this area right here, which was 611, 610 down to around 609, 608, 606. Just this area that I'm shaded right here. Notice where we sold off. We ate that completely. So again, you got to be able to know where the daily gaps are and stuff like that. I called that out to the team as well. So very, very cool stuff right there. Now, this is interesting for Q. Hear me out on this. 616.42. 616.42. I'm saying that level right now because I'm seeing a whale buyer in the close at 616.42. That would mean we would come right back up to today's highs, right? A little bit higher than today's highs because they never got filled at open. It seemed like they went for it. The whale did not get filled. They are sitting at 616.42. If we see upside tomorrow, I think I'm going to trust it with Q on that move to 616.42. As long as it's above 611.75 right there, that's trusting the zones. That's sticking to my levels. I'll get a $5 move up right there, and that's what I'm looking for right there. That would be nice. I'm going to keep an eye on that. I will be trading live tomorrow for all members tomorrow. So if you're not a member and you want some live trading, I would say get on it right now. Use code FEB at sign up right now. That's FEB for February. It's one of the last days, guys, to use this. So sign up at wap.com/Rico Capital or type in RicoCap.com. You can sign up, use that code to get 50% off. Come on, guys. So if you want live trading, usually it's only for the top members, but I've been doing a lot more free sessions just for all members, just to get y'all on the same page with me and winning. We have been winning nonstop on the live sessions and this whole week. So I want y'all to continue to kind of keep winning with me and keep it pushing. So let's kind of see what happens on that upside. Now, SPY, let me check that real quick. Is there someone on the upside here? 692.97. I think they got filled because the high today was 693.15. We'll keep that in mind. We will keep that in mind just in case. Stick to the levels. Like I said, we will see. Now, again, NVIDIA sold off. Disappointed. Let me go ahead and tweet out the Lotto Friday watch list right now. Tweeting it out so y'all can have it in y'all's hands. Be looking at it so we can go over pretty much that right now. So first things first for the Lotto Friday watch list. SPY and QQ. I already went over those upsides. The other upside that I do see, and I don't really see that many upside, I see Meta here. Meta's not too bad. We're still on an uptrend here. Doesn't look too bad. Kind of a bigger flag break. I think if we end up breaking 655, is that what it is? 655.69 right here. We break that blue level and that flag. This is going to rocket to 660 plus. Likely back to the high of 663. So I would maybe keep an eye on that. What is it? 663.35. So maybe that would be your all out. Maybe that would be your, kind of risk off, or maybe that would be, just keep an eye on that. But I love that, a break there just kind of pushes it back in that range. Could be almost a $10 move right there. Not too bad. I'm not complaining about that. So that is for Meta right there. We have SPY, we have QQ on the upside, and Meta. Now, as far as the downside, it's a little bit more lengthier. Just because I see, these flags, bear flags, a little bit of lowercase h patterns. These look a little bit better as far as, I would say, maybe going into tomorrow. Now, do we see that continuation downward? I don't know, but I will put them on the list just in case you want to see them. So on the first one up the bat is IWM under 262.29. It failed this breakout again up here, which was kind of an all-tell sign where we're reversing here, after hours. It's at 263.55, so it's kind of in this area right here. We've been holding this weekly demand for the past few days right here. If we end up cracking under it, which I have right now on the IWM, below 262.29, that's where this is shaded right here. We lose that, we're dropping to 261, 260. We're pretty much recreating this explosion on, what was that, Tuesday, for this move up zone to zone, which could go lower. So keep an eye on that. That's still a win right there. It's not a super banger, but it could turn into a super banger as we do have a huge gap down here under the 258, what happens? You never know. You never know. So next one though, this one is more of a banger, I would say, if it triggers, and that is going to be AMD. AMD is lowercase h here, just kind of maybe bear flag if you really want to call it. But the way this is moving right here, it is eating the daily gap or the overnight gap. I'm sorry, that it created, off that news that it blasted out there. What was it? The news is partnering up with Meta or something like that. Regardless, blasted out the 197.95. That will be your target move right there. We are flagging here. We are just inside of the daily gap already. You can see that we ate most of it already. Daily gap is still sitting there. And then on top of that, if it drops and eats that daily gap, we are now sitting over another hourly gap all the way down to 190. So this could hit that daily gap, accelerate that, and come down to 190. So from 200 to 190, that's a $10 move. That looks banger to me, especially with AMD lottos. Those things move like crazy. So I would say definitely keep an eye on that as well. If you're loving this stream right now, show some love. Retweet the stream, guys. We're back on X. We're finally back on X. The stream is so back. And thank God for that. It only took Elon like 2 weeks. I don't know what they're doing over there at X. Just dicking around. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm happy we're back. So shout out to that. So also, if you want my trades, wap.com/Rio Capital, use code FEB, 50% off memberships for the month of February. And tomorrow's like the last day of February. So stop waiting tonight. Stop waiting. Get into it. I'm trading live for all members. So all you're going to do is sign up, right? You sign up, get access to the Discord, show up in the morning with me, get on live with me. I share my screen just like this. I share the positions I'm looking for. I share, the contracts. I tell you what price I'm getting in. I also alerted in the channel. And then I give you the full breakdown. I'm giving you play by play and exactly what I'm thinking in, my entries and exits. So that's the cool thing about it. All right, moving on. Next one on the Lotto Friday watch list that I just tweeted out for you guys is Apple. So we gave QQ downside and QQ upside, SPY upside, Meta upside, IWM downside, AMD downside. Last one is going to be Apple here. Apple now failed breakout above that 275, 273. It went higher today. This one almost faked me out. At open. Few of us were watching Apple and a couple other names. I decided to go Microsoft, and that worked out for us. Almost didn't work out for us, but this one definitely would not have worked out for us. Got dunked on. Now it is definitely a flagging here. I would say, flagging here under 270.03. Now I put that on the watch list, right? Under 270.03, which is this one right here. The reason why I put that is because I would say under 271.12, but it's very possible this 270 level holds. And so that's just $1 down. I know if we end up losing that 270, we're dropping to 267 and lower. So that's $3 down, and that's going to bang for Apple puts. Now it's tougher that if, this could only, move $1 right here and kind of hold. We need under that 270.03, wait for a 15-minute, wait for an hourly, wait for a bigger time, bigger candle, and let it just come right back down into that range. We'll win on that. So we'll keep an eye on this. This is flagging. This could be exploding downward. And when it comes to, my plays at open, and I'm the king of the open, it's just we're catching those explosions. It doesn't matter if it's up or down, what it is. We're catching the explosions. We're catching that aggressive move up or aggressive move down, whatever it is. And that's the best thing about it. So it could be up, could be down. We're very flexible in that sense. And so, yes. Man, the stream is back. Let's make some money, people. Let's make some money. I'm ready for tomorrow. You know what? Last Friday, Lotto Friday was insane. It was absolutely insane. I traded live. It was absolutely insane. And I can't even tell. I really hope, again, this Friday is going to be, just as good. Let's hope. Some good setups here. I like it. And I don't mind it. Looking around, you know what? I was really charting and looking around. It was, pretty tough, right? We see that Intel just knifed here. It's kind of doing that lowercase h. I don't know. Intel has that gap down there I'm aiming for whenever we get to it. But again, you know, I'm not going to force any setups here. I see some decent setups, but other than that, that's really about it. The ones that I listed are bangers. But I would say, let's just see kind of what happens. It's possible that some half of those aren't validated, right? And we go up. If we do go up, that's why I say stick to SPY and Q tomorrow. I am seeing that whale buyer on the tape. I don't know how serious they are with it. So far this week, we've seen whale buyers, or even last week too. We saw whale buyers or sellers really magnet us up or down in that price, and they've been getting filled. So let's see if tomorrow is just one of those days. I think last Friday did kind of the same thing where we opened up lower and just bounced heavy, and we absolutely banked off that. So let's kind of see what happens. Going into that. I would say, we'll see. We got some good setups. I'm trading live. Anything could happen. I love waking up pre-market, just giving the rundown to the team. I hop on 15 minutes early, and I'm just like, guys, this is what I'm seeing. This is what's going on. This is what I'm focusing on. This is what this name could explode. Awesome, right? Apple was just one of those. We caught this on Tuesday, and this was there's nothing going on Tuesday, right? Like right open, nothing was going on. Apple was the only one. We caught it perfectly, and I called it pre-market. It was pushing up, and I was like, the reason why I called it out is because the day before it broke out, but it failed and ended up closing right back under. So I was like, hold on. And it's pre-market. You see it's pushing right back above that 267 level. I was like, this is gearing up. I saw the volume gearing up. Things were gearing up. Right open. Apple started pushing it. We're like, it's game time. Let's get it. And our calls went over 300%. We banked while everyone else was kind of just, waiting around, or, kind of just waiting for a good setup. And then, the market really started coming around there. That was the cool part about it. Very cool part about it as well. All right, where are we at? Yes, so good stuff, good stuff. I love it. And so we might just be playing the move right back down into this area. You can see we're right back into this range. We're very familiar with these levels, so if that ends up triggering, then we'll go for it if needed. But not nothing crazy or anything like that. We're not looking for all time lows or all time highs, so nothing too crazy. Google a little sideways here. Not too much going on here. Again, like I said, some of these setups, a lot of red after hours. Will we see a little bit more of that going into tomorrow? Maybe we'll see. Now, what I want to talk to you guys real quick is some of my intraday warriors here. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about something, and this is going to be a little strategy for you guys to win intraday, or say you miss the complete sell off here. You're caught by surprise. You're not following Rico Capital. You don't got the zones. Say you're out there by yourself. You see this hourly just kind of just dump, right? And you're not trying to chase it. You'd rather not chase it. And that's okay. That's all right. That's smart. Now, I'm going to tell you a strategy to play that you can win on after seeing this right here, right? Notice how when we came down here, it kind of did that, right? It held demand right there. So it held that and then ended up pushing right back up to this range right here. Now, if you're kind of familiar with what I'm kind of talking about here, pretty much this. Anytime we see a massive sell-off, there's always going to be kind of a bounce. Don't be crazy to think that at some point we're not going to bounce intraday. We're not just going to see things kind of like move or do anything like crazy. I would say definitely keep this in mind. We bounce, we hit a support, we push up. When you see this push up, notice how either it's going to do one of two things: retrace all the way back up, which is most of the times rare if it's a big sell off like this. So you're going to be all right. We're shorting this. Now, you need confirmation, right? Look for that 15-minute confirmation. What does that mean? If you have no levels on your chart and you're just freelancing this, look for this bad guy right here. Look for that bad guy right there. And I'm gonna how can I, let's see, white. Look for this bad guy right here. You see that right there? That right there is a decent amount of indecision, right? A little bit perfect would have been some type of like hammer like this for a reversal perfectly, but this one is just as good because this shows you indecision. Sellers stepped in, buyers are trying to hold it but got exhausted. Notice how when this prints, your confirmation will come on the next candle. That next candle will be this one right here. Where does that open up, right? It did not open up higher there. Usually you're seeing these candles continue to open up higher, higher. This one did not and ended up dumping down there. That's what you're looking for, that exhaustion. It also, and this is what I tell my team all the time. I'm just going to draw this real quick. It's pretty much this, a lowercase h pattern. Push out, push, and then boom. Notice how it kind of creates a lowercase h pattern and then, kind of falls out there. That's kind of what I look for, that lowercase h pattern of pushing down back up into a resistance and then rejecting back down to those lows, holding again, if not maybe going lower. I love the lowercase h pattern because sometimes it goes a lot lower if there's that continuation. Again, I didn't expect it to be too much continuation today just because looking around the market, things are kind of just holding. But if it was a complete trend day of just slamming, just dumping, then yes, you could have been shorting those lows. But shorting those lows at the low is bad RR. You want to be up here shorting that for that possible move down. So even if you're wrong about us breaking those lows, you're still up a couple 100%, getting some lottos at that specific area. Now, this doesn't work all the time. Let me at least preface that. It's very possible that sometimes they do push this or melt this right back up. Not plenty of times, but there have been times where we dumped off. I missed the dump. We push back up. I start shorting it. And sometimes, and you got to be okay with it going against you a little bit. That's the one thing. And you got to not be entering all at once. You got to enter a little bit, and then, boom. I would say wait for that confirmation, enter. And then if you wait for the confirmation and entered, you really won't go red on the position. Now, this is different. Opening up and dumping and then using this pattern is different than, say, we dumped pre-market, opened up and pushed up. If we dumped pre-market, say this happened pre-market at open, we pushed up. That is I've learned that's a lot harder to try and short, because it's possibly eating the daily gap on the move back up, right? Because that created a daily gap. There's just a lot of variables, and I would probably suggest that I've seen more win rates doing this shorting, that midday on a nasty kind of big sell-off bounce, than this happening pre-market, then trying to short it, on the move out, after open. It's just, I like it better when it kind of plays out rather than happening pre-market, because when pre-market happens, it creates a kind of a daily gap. It creates liquidity. It creates things. So if you're looking for, things like this, one of two things: no fear, short it. You can see the volume is there. You can see, the selling pressure was there. The eating was good. The eating was good. You better jump in. And I saw some of my members slam SpyX and go with it as well. That was paying hundreds of $100. Beautiful. And that's what you got to have, no fear. And that's what I try and instill in them. Some of my top members as well are killing it doing that exactly. And that's because when we see pressure like this and we see this eating a gap and we see a lot of things on our side, don't even hesitate. When the pressure's there and the eating is good, attack. No fear, attack. And that's how you should be treating it. Now, this is a very specific setup. I'm not talking about just any day. This is a very specific setup. But when you see that pressure, whether it's up or down, you need to be attacking. No fear, no nothing. Make your money. And that's kind of the whole point of kind of what I'm talking about on this ramble a little bit. Hopefully you guys can learn a little bit there, but just know that the reason why that kind of makes a lot of sense, that we, push down and then kind of push up and then come back down or do whatever, it starts to flag, right? It starts to create a bear flag. It starts to create things. And so if that structure is going to start forming, you can then make decisions on where you can, enter and do other things as well. Intraday, at least. Intraday. I just hit my light. I don't know what happened there. I accidentally hit it with my foot. But yeah, so anyways, yeah, we are seeing some redness here after hours. We're not at the breakdown level. We do have news tomorrow as well. So we will see, I guess, what that news does, if it does anything. I doubt if it does anything. I think it's like PMI, flash PMI or something that don't even do anything on a good day. So I doubt that's going to do anything as well. So we will see what happens. Anyways, all right, I tweeted out the Lotto Friday watch list on X. If you're watching this anywhere else, follow me on X on Rico Capital. Just search up Rico Capital. You will find me on X, on Twitter, whatever. Follow me there. I'm posting all the levels. I'm bragging about members gains. I'm showing my P&L daily, showing I'm green every day is a rocket. My that green today. Today was awesome. I loved it. Look, this is how all of our charts were looking today, right? That I don't know if you can see it. It's like a very dip and then like rip back up. Uh, that was because of the Microsoft. All of our P&Ls were looking like that, right at open or after open there, and then we got into the groove of winning and stuff like that. But that Microsoft was crazy. I got the worst fill possible, so I'm so happy that I went in first and then members followed and then they got a better feel because we opened up on this hourly and we just came down to retest that flag and pushed out. That's what I was looking for. And I wanted this continuation so close to 409, 410. That would have really got our contracts over, 150, 200%. But, market was on our side and that's okay. You can still be wrong on a high conviction setup and still make money. And this was one of those times. Microsoft opened up above breakout. It was one of the strongest names. It stayed green while everyone was red for the most part. It opened up, it started pulling down. I ended up jumping the gun a little bit and slamming calls. I could have waited just a little bit longer. I got filled to like 403, 402, right about here. It dipped a little bit lower to 400 level. And then I was like, let's see it. And then, we rocketed up to 407. Good enough for me, good enough for me. I even added a few more too, knowing I was like, this is where I should be adding. But I was like, let me not, change my average too much. I like to just alert my average. And so I don't want to be like, I don't ever average down. I do add to it if I know it's going to really bang, but I don't trim or sell until it's above, my normal alert average. So just in case anyone following me doesn't get to add, I want to see them win and I want to win. And I want that to be a win for me, which is a win for me is, above my actual average that I got into and initially first alerted, right? I don't care how many times I add to it. I don't really add to losers. I average into winners. That's totally different. Totally different. Averaging down is you trying to get your average low enough so you can get out of it. Averaging in is maybe your entry wasn't good, but this is going to win. And so I'm adding more to it, not because I'm trying to get my average down or, I'm completely red and just trying to get it down. Maybe you're like 10%, 20% red and you're averaging in, meaning I'm not even in my full position yet. I still got more time to add to this because I know that this is going to win. And so I'm going to supersize this or I'm going to make it a normal size or I'm going to add to it and just know that I'm going to win on this. Like it has nothing to do with the average. It has everything to do with me getting more into this position because I know it's going to win. That's my thought process when it comes to, I would say, averaging in, which is exactly how it sounds, I guess. Averaging in, not averaging down. So yeah, awesome stuff, guys. My favorite H. I snuck my SO. H pattern, baby. Love the good H pattern. You know what? For some reason, though, I feel like we haven't been seeing too many H patterns follow through, right? On the 23rd, right here on Q, lowercase H pattern, reopened up. That was that Friday where we opened up, slapped that 600 level, and then pushed out. That wasn't Friday. That was Tuesday. So that Monday, we didn't see that. Yeah. It's crazy. That was okay. That was Friday. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. I don't know why we're not seeing those lowercase, I don't know, H patterns kind of play out a little bit more. But I don't know. All good, though. All good. Maybe it plays out, but I doubt it. Want to know why I doubt it? Look at this. On the 4 hour, you can see where we are in this huge channel on the 4 hour. Notice where we sold off literally this morning on Q. And notice where we held at the bottom of Q. Random? Nope, not at all. So that's why I'm like, dude, it's very possible we see upside tomorrow. It's very possible that we end up breaking, 609, 611, and we actually come up to that whales entry at 616. That would mean we're running back to the top of the channel, which would be brutal how many people got super bearish yesterday, got dunked on today, turned bearish, and now they're about to get dunked on again. That's one of those where everyone's going to probably feel like, not everyone, but people that are struggling to trade, they're going to feel like they're a day behind on the market. And if you're not like current or keeping up with the market, you can easily be 1 day behind it, where you feel like every move you take, you're 1 day behind or like you're one move behind. And so that's a tough place to be honest. Sometimes it's easier just to kind of sit back, wait, and catch the rhythm. There's a rhythm to the market. It's very tough to be in the same rhythm all the time. Some I do 10 years into this, 9, 10 years into this, there are times where I get out of rhythm and I got to step back for, a day, not a day, but I got to step back and do a little bit less and get back into rhythm. Now, that hasn't been the case for us this week. We've been on point with it, up, down, all that, trading live, having fun. So that's the beauty about it. That's the beauty about it. Last 2 days, right? To use code FEB at sign up, WAP.com/Regal Capital. Use it. This is the last promo code for a while. I don't know when I'm gonna do it. So it's basically whenever. And so yeah, pretty cool stuff. I would sign up and don't ever cancel it because you don't know when that next promo code is coming. 50% off memberships right now. Top member, normal member, whatever. Yeah, you can get live trading with me. My trades, entries, exits, charts, SPY, QQ, all that. The zones, baby. These right here, they get posted every single night to members like clockwork. I don't miss. I don't care if I'm on vacation. I don't care where I'm at in the world. I'm posting at least the SPY and QQ game plans. And if I'm traveling or something, then of course I'm trading live. Plenty of times I've been in the airport running on live, like, all right, guys, we're entering this. Let's go. Let's make some money. And us do it. Plenty of times I've been on the beach or in the condo or somewhere just making money with the team. There's nothing better than that. Nothing better than that. Last vacation, it's been a while, but I'm about to take my next one for sure. But last vacation was like October, November, around, whenever Trump tanked the market on that Friday. We woke up, King of the Open, right? I traded live for the team. We won on calls. We're green. And I was like, I'm on the beach, market still, oh no, I was having breakfast, almost on the beach, having breakfast. I'm in the restaurant and I was like, all right, I don't have to be checking too much. There's no way nothing's really going to happen. We're just kind of doing less. And then of course Trump tweets something out. And then of course I'm like, I gotta slam. I'm leading more puts to the team. That day was insane. Big sell off. We saw a lot of good wins. And so we won on a lot of good stuff as well, up and down. And I was like, damn, Trump can't just have one day off for me. I can't just chill, but it's all good. I was on the beach smiling after that because we really won on that. Pretty good stuff. All right. Questions. Let me know. Appreciate y'all showing up. 160 of y'all showing up. Appreciate y'all showing up, guys. All right. Yeah, so we got our game plans. I tweeted out the lotto watch list. Let's see what happens. We are seeing a little bit of red here after hours. Keep in mind and keep this in mind. If we do see that upside on Q or SPY tomorrow, don't be scared. 616 is your level tomorrow for Q for that upside. If you're at 611 or 613, you got plenty of time to run it to 616. So calls will definitely work. You can wait for that confirmation, whatever the case may be. I'm trading live. So get my trades, WAP.com/Rico Capital. Use code FEB to get my trades. Join my live session tomorrow. And I might actually do one very soon, like live session, kind of like how you're seeing right now, but I'm going to trade live for everyone watching on YouTube, X, whatever, not just for the members. So I might try and do that. We'll see whenever that day comes, but awesome stuff, guys. Anyways, hope you all are staying green out there. Hopefully you had a good week. Job's not done. Game's not over. Week is not finished. So we have to go out there tomorrow and get it done. So I'll be on live. Let's do this. Show up bright and early for the pre-market kind of scan, and then we go from there. Let's win. Let's absolutely kill it. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all showing up. Have a good rest of y'all's nights. Enjoy.